But I think the tipping point of it being what? We're now 60%, 65% done with this season, and Kyrie Irving still not vaccinated. And that means he cannot play in home games.
No.
And I think at that point, if you're James, you're like, okay, part of the reason coming here is to not have to do quite as much work. And this guy will not get a vaccine because he's just Kyrie Irving doing crazy Kyrie Irving, whatever, nonsensical stuff. So I kind of get the trade request. Honestly, I think it makes both teams probably better. To be honest with you. So I'm glad it finally went down. Now we're in like no more excuses land. James Harden, you better show up in the playoffs. This is it. You can't get asked to get traded from the 76ers next year. This is dumb, bro. So I'm looking forward to it. Maybe we'll see Ben Simmons play this year. I don't know. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. And with that, I'm gonna hand it off to Nithin to feel this heat right now.
This is that PCO. Both teams got better synergy. Blah blah blah. No. I hope to God both teams crash and burn. They get much worse now because honestly, as much as Ben Simmons is getting helped by this big time because now he won't have to take as many shots.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we all know in the playoffs, the defenses will key in on that weakness, and they will force that man to shoot. And he is not going to shoot. He's not going to shoot.
But what do you think about that unicorn, though? Who just like, hey, here KD and Kyrie, y'all, well, assuming it's not a home game.
Yeah. It's a away game.
Or that they're playing.
Not in California.
Right. No, I mean, I agree with you 100%. I think, like, the biggest villain in all of this was Kyrie. Because he blew up that team, and he's blown up every team he's been on. And the only chip he got was with LeBron, and he took a couple big shots. You know, he actually made those shots. I'm not going to take that away from him, but ever since then, he's been a pariah. So I think he's a huge villain that's skating on this whole deal because everyone wants to hate on Harden, which I do too. Of course, as a Houston fan, he left the city and just, in the worst way, in my opinion. But I actually think Harden was in the right in terms of getting out of that situation with Kyrie. I agree with you on that one. But I think he's going to have a lot of trouble. It's not like you just lose 20 pounds when you get traded. Like, and you stop going to the club and you start playing different.
That's his training regimen. What are you talking about?
So at least with Simmons, when he got traded, maybe the main thing that changed is his mental health problem around being in an environment that he didn't feel comfortable with.
Sure.
Which I agree with people dealing with that more. I think that's actually admirable in some ways to talk about that aspect of the game because most of the time it had always been brushed under the rug. But I don't think he's going to actually be able to perform under pressure any different either. Right? These are the same players. Just because they got traded, their weaknesses come with them. So Ben Simmons is not going to be able to shoot in the playoffs, and I think he's going to get blown up by his own team as well as the Nets fans, who are not going to be any nicer, than any other.
It's not a lower pressure environment. It's not like he's going to Indiana or something where the spotlight will be less and maybe he can. No, it's a higher pressure environment.
Yeah, so he's going to get a lot of heat in that playoffs, and his track record shows that when he gets some heat, he folds. And then Harden, I mean, the guy is not in shape. I mean, I'm not trying to fat shame. He's not in shape. His hamstring keeps.
If you have to say it, it's a problem.
And he, I don't think he is on a trajectory where his career is a long one where he can maintain that level of productivity he had in the past. He's an elite playmaker. He can find people, and he's still lead or close to leading the league in assists. But I just don't think with that team where now he has to make a lot of shots. They lost a key 3-point shooter in Curry and depth in Drummond. That there's a lot of pressure for him to perform and put in a lot of minutes. And his body where it is right now, I just don't think it's going to work, especially in the playoffs. I think both of these teams are going to get challenged hard early by a very deep East in the Bulls, in obviously Giannis and the Heat. So I don't think these teams are going to get better. I think like when push comes to shove, the whole point of this is to win a championship. I don't think they're closer. I don't think
Okay,
they're
so
closer.
Jeremy's saying both teams get better. Nithin's saying either he's saying both teams get worse or he wants both teams to get worse.
I want both teams to get worse, and I'm gonna stand by it. I think they will get worse.
All right.